between a very long time, and now we're coming out, but we're in a portal. I can still feel movement happening. I was cloaked for this, and I'm got a dragon team surrounding me, so I don't know where we're going, but we needed assistance, and I'm still traveling through a portal. Is it a portal, or it almost feels like we're going through a planet? It's a portal. Okay. Galilee is saying it's a portal. This is an intense one, too, guys. A very strong vibration. I can feel the movement very strongly. Whew. We're out in space, in darkness somewhere, but we're not in a planet. We are in space. There's a different frequency here, isn't there, Gilly? Yes. We're in a different galaxy? Yes. Okay. Different vibrational frequency pattern. That's how I can tell it's not the Milky Way. Billy, are we waiting for a ship? Aha! There is one right now. I just saw it uncloak. And a cargo door is opening. Are all the dragons coming in? Yes. Well, that's a first. They still can do that, Marc. They can still hit me with firsts that we've never experienced in 20 years. Whoa. So you get the cargo hold. I'm just praying that we're in an Andromeda Council ship. That's what I'm praying. Why do we need all these dragons? I'm kind of blanked out here. I've lost sight of where we are. Gilly, what's going on? I feel like I've been blindfolded. I'm so not comfortable at the moment, guys. I know I'm safe with Gilly and these dragons. That I know for sure. I don't believe they'd steer me anywhere that wouldn't be safe. But I don't know why I can't see. Help me, Gilly. I need some help here. I can't see what's going on. Just wait. Okay. We're in the ship, correct? In the cargo hold? Yes. And I'm in the dark. Yes. Okay. Could you blow some flame, like a match for me? No. Darn. Wait.
Imagine if all the dragons did that, Karen.
Yeah, I'd have a lit room. One more ways than one, maybe.
More than that.
Oh, good. Thank you. I needed to laugh. That makes me feel better. I don't. Okay, so tell me this. Whose ship are we on? Are we in an Andromeda Council ship? No. Are we in a Reptilian ship? Yes. Is it one of the commander's ships? Yes. Oh, thank God. Okay. He knows we're here, correct? Yes. He is preparing for you. And is Galilee going to meet us here? Yes. They are here. You know, there's nothing worse than dead air space when you're recording. So can you kind of telepathically let them know that we need to get on with the show? Kelly's shaking her head like, oh, these children.
All right, well, Gilly, as you know, I'm sending all my love and support to you, appreciation to you and all the dragons present, as always.
And now Blue's shaking his head. For those of you who don't know, Blue is Marc's dragon friend, who's telepathically connected to Marc. And some people wouldn't know that from just listening. Oh my God, there's a light that just came on. Oh, thank you, Lord. And Galilee is coming. If I had known that, I would have started recording so early. Ah, thank you. Oh, he's looking at the commander and saying they haven't learned patience yet, have they? Hey, you invited us. This is not the best reception we've had. Oh, Commander, namaste. Commander, I need to ask you, I was looking through my notes from the past 10 years of shows, and I noticed that I had down that your name, the closest we could come to for your real name is Commander Zillion. Is that accurate? Yes, I will answer to that. Okay, Commander Zillion. I don't know if you remember that, Marc, that was something I wrote, and I totally forgot about it since then. Because there was another Commander Raz at one point. Were you Commander Raz as well? Yes. I got promoted. Got promoted. Commander Zillion. I like Zillion. So I could call you Raz Zillion? No. Commander Zillion. Will do. Guys, you just have to realize how much fun it is to get a reptilian, a red reptilian rat up like a little bit, riled, and he's just so fun to make smile. He challenges my muscles all the time.
Yeah. Well, as you know, Commander, you will, no matter what your name or position is, we love your consciousness and who you truly are, and your service of love and to support everyone involved in creation. For that, we love and appreciate you.
All races, yes. He's bowing. Namaste, and so am I. All right. We must get down to business, Galilee is saying, now that you've had your fun.
Love you too, Galilee.
Thank you.
You know that.
Commander's laughing again. So, there we go. Yes, what are we here for now that we have waited for this. Galilee shaking his head. The commander has invited us to a meeting, and that's why you've been brought here. Why all of the dragons? Why did we need that energy for the energy? Exactly. We wanted their energetic signal here. There's a reason. You will find out why. Come. All right. So we are going up a people mover. And are we going to need to go through the different elevators? Yes. I will see you inside. Okay, the commander is going. He does not need to go in this direction. I need to go and have my field cleansed, cleared, and cellophaned, wrapped. It's an environmental wrap. If you haven't heard previous shows, what they do is they put me in a field. And it's almost like I'm shrink wrapped. I go in a bubble. It's so cool. It is the neatest technology ever. All right, I'm in the bubble. And Galilee's already been done, so he's waiting. Okay. He's waiting outside of this tube. I'm in a tube that's putting a bubble around me. And when I step out of this tube, it will shrink wrap. Ah, it's a strange feeling. Okay. I just stepped out. And what this energy field does is it provides the moisture, the oxygen, the nutrients, the temperature that my body needs in this ship, because the ship's environmental atmosphere is conducive and supportive to the reptilian species who live in underground Earth. I mean, they're a reptilian species. Think about what a reptile needs. They need heat, warmth, soil, a certain oxygen level. So their needs are much different. And in order to come into their ship, I have to have this field around me, or I could die or get ill in this atmosphere. This is what they do in all of these ships with different species. They put them in a wrap of an environmental atmosphere that works for them. In their rooms, they have the right temperature environment. They're all temperature controlled and have an environmental condition that will work for each species. But when you're in common areas, you have to have some supportive field around you that will support your individual needs. So we are walking through the ship now, going into another elevator, and this is a rather big ship. I want to say bigger than what the Enterprise would be.
Right.
It's a pretty large one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, one thing which would be interesting is I don't think that they would appreciate the ice castle that I went to recently. I shared pictures with you. But Galilee, you can connect with my consciousness and see the ice castles.
No. I wouldn't appreciate those ice castles, Marc, let alone the commander. There you go.
Okay.
All righty then. Okay, we're entering a room. Oh, my goodness gracious, this is a huge room. Oh, wow. This is one of those auditorium ones that almost has a nosebleed section. It's not quite nosebleed. It's huge. Well, it's big for this size of a ship. Let's put it that way. It looks sort of like a... Okay, how many seats would you say it has? 1,000 seats. That's pretty big. 1,000-seat auditorium. Okay. So, we're sitting down, and we're in the back row. Somehow they always want us in the back row, close to the back row. It's because you're a guest, Karen. You're not a regular attendee. Ah, so this is a regular meeting? Yes, it is. Okay. Commander is up in front of the auditorium. Again, we're looking down. Hopefully they'll put up the screen so I can see, because he looks tiny down there compared to the fact that he's 3 times my size. Almost 3 times my size. Aha, there's my monitor. I had to hit a button on the console in front of me, and up popped the monitor. So now I can see and hear better. He is introducing someone in reptilian language. So is it going to translate? Yes, Karen. That's why else we're back here. Oh, this is different. So a glass field just wrapped around us. And we're the only 2 in here. Wait, is there someone else? Kari just entered. Kari of the answer. Namaste. Hello. Kari and Willem are here. Very great. Oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming. Mm-hmm. We're sorry we're a little delayed. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Namaste. Welcome.
Namaste, Marc.
Love and support.
Yes. Okay, the commander is going to start. He's starting to speak. We are here assembled today to bring forth information of what we have determined is going on with the super soldiers that have been discovered in many of the different galaxies. What they're doing with the ore that has been mined off of one of the asteroids in another galaxy, actually multiple galaxies, and what there is for us to do to support multiple councils and ourselves concerning this information. I'm going to hand this meeting over to, I'm not sure what that name is. I can't differentiate the name. It's another reptilian. And this is a brown reptilian. That's intriguing. The browns are one step above the reds in their caste system. So it's red, brown, green, white. He's pulling up a screen, and he's saying, there's lit up spots throughout the galaxy. Galilee, this is, are we in the Orion galaxy right now? No. Different galaxy. Okay. And these spots are within this galaxy that we're currently in. Yes. All right. Okay, and basically what they're saying is these are the areas that have been uncovered or discovered that super soldiers have bases or camps in. Remember, we showed you those tube-like structures and that they would be expanded to create DUMBs, deep underground military bases, this is where they have been taken and used. We were able to track them and track the movements and the behaviors and patterns and what they're doing. Then we showed you the mission we had where we spied and we determined what elements they were extracting from the asteroid field outside of Saturn. And we discovered that it could be used for great harm. It could be used to create portals. It could be used to destroy planets. And Commander Zillion is telling them, he has informed all of this galaxy what's going on and what we've uncovered. This is the meeting to educate them about what is going on. Now, what's tricky about this meeting and the reason you're cloaked and the reason for the dragons is that there are members of this council that are working for the Dracos. They are not working for the rebel group, the beings like the commander who wish to be free and wish to rule themselves and not be slaves to the Draco. So they are dispensing information today, again, why we need to be shielded. They are dispensing information to determine who the double agents are and who is bringing back that information. Remember the technology that we recently saw, that we were able to use a frequency that the commander's bases developed that neutralized the green reptilians, and we were able to put different thoughts into their brain of a different type of meeting that happened. Well, they are using this information to create thought structures and create the pattern of thinking that will go back. It's being used sort of as a tool so that we can determine who the agents are. Who are the ones that are letting the super soldiers know and the Dracos know of what's going on with this group? You will see how this will be used quite effectively. We've done more testing and it's worked out quite well to date. Now the real key is how do we keep them from getting the technology? So this meeting has been carefully set up and designed. That's why we were a little delayed. We were looking at some last-minute corrections to the system to make sure that we had every angle covered today and that all beings would be monitored correctly. We had some last-minute additions to the meeting, and we had to get those beings set up in the system that they could be monitored. Do they know they're being monitored, Galilee? Yes and no. They are aware that all areas are monitored on ships and in these meetings, but they don't know to what extent they are being monitored. It won't matter for the ones who are in integrity. It will only matter for the ones who wish to keep their purpose for being here secretive. Okay. Very great. There's dialogue happening that's going on right now. They're showing different screens. They're showing images of these underground bases that they've achieved. Interesting. You're seeing some shuffling going on. Yes, Karen, that's what we suspected. They didn't know that they were being monitored. We are purposely putting out this information to make them scared, to let them know how much we know. Couldn't that backfire? Yes, and we've prepared for that. Good. So at this point, you're ahead of the process. Yes, we've got all angles covered. And then some. That sounds good. Carrie just squeezed my hand. Like, it's all good, Karen. We're good. Is it all good on Earth as well? Are things covered on Earth? He smiled and said, yes, they are. Okay. So,
have in a recent show we had talked about the nanotechnology that the Earth humans have and what was put into the vaccinations and what you had found out. With that, what has come forward with that information that you got and follow up from that?
It's not time to talk about that right now, Marc. Let's keep with the conversation here.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later then.
We can talk about that towards the end of the show because they're showing me information now, and what you keyed in on, Marc, is the fact that there's nanites involved. They are working with the nanites, aren't they, Galilee? Yes, they are. That's what Marc was catching. Then the nanites that are in these super soldiers, correct? Yes. Okay. And what... Guys, what you don't know that's happening is there are screens in front of me and there's images that keep coming up. I can't hear or understand what's being said, and it hasn't been translated into English at all at this point. Only what Carrie and Galilee have told me. But I'm seeing what looks like a skull, and is this the nanite technology that I'm looking at and how it runs through the body and the field? Correct, Karen, and how it interacts with other nanite technology. So, is this how they were able to program that green reptilian to get it thinking about and answering and responding differently? Yes, it is. So the commander's showing them all this technology. Yes. Now, what you need to know is the reptilian technology already knew that this is how they're controlled. They know this. They've grown up with this aspect of nanite control and technology. So this is nothing new for them. It's shocking for you because, fortunately, humanity has not been nanited before. Not to the level that is going to be happening now. Okay. All right. And they're showing some kind of a pulse relay system between the different nanites and what they can pulse it and how they can pulse it one to another. What is the significance of what I'm seeing? What does this do? The pulse relay is another form of mind control. It is a relay that sends a message, a similar message, and it just goes to being after being after being after being after being after being. Sort of like a command, if you were going to give a command in the army and it goes to one group and then another group and then another group and then another group. It's a similar type of command system that goes out. Okay. And the importance of this. Oh, Commander is saying, once you have a connection to the system, all we need to do is change the command. We can turn the command from one of destruction to one of construction. We can shift or transform the command to a different momentum, projection, and outcome. What is that? I'm hearing an alarm bell. I'm hearing an alarm. Oh my goodness gracious. People just poofed out of chairs, like disappeared. They have been teleported, haven't they? Yes. We caught the double agents. I love when they do this. It's shocking, guys, but we've been to several meetings where people just poof out of the room. Oh my word. People are looking around in startlement. And the commander's just going on like nothing happened. Are they going to acknowledge it? No. It was for you to see. I love it. Thank you. This is a great show. I really like this show.
I love it. I love it. I can perceive it in my own way. It's cool. I love it.
Well, what the people who are next to them are just kind of looking at each other like, what just happened? And then you see them kind of whispering to each other, nodding. And so some people get it and some people don't. Correct. So the ones who get it are most likely working with the commander and knew the technology. Yes. And the ones who are questioning it are the ones who are new to the meeting, just from different galaxies and not in the commander's forces. Do they want to be? They're in forces that are working with the commander. At least that's what they said. He's having these kind of meetings to determine who is really working with them and who is trying to infiltrate and destroy them. Got it. Wow. The reptilian species is so lucky to have him. Yes, they are. Something shifted in his DNA because he was not the norm. I'll say, for him to take this kind of stand, and I mean, we've known him 10 years, and for him to go from a little rogue ship of a few people to this is just amazing in 10 years. It truly is inspiring. And the most important thing that I wish for all of your listeners to take away from this today is to know that there are beings of awake consciousness that are truly working to assist all species for sovereign freedom. He wishes that for his people, and he also wishes that for humanity. They wish that for all humanoids because they know that they can't be free if another species is enslaved. because that entrapment and the enslavement will have them be constant victims to the Draco, to their own species. The only way for them to be free is for everyone to be free and to take the power back and away from the Draco population. And that's what he's working on. And to find ways to continually neutralize super soldiers and robotic beings designed for destruction. That when you know how to calibrate and technically infiltrate a programmed robot, you can deprogram it and provide it with a different opportunity. Go ahead, Marc. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, and I'm sure, we can go into more detail later, but I know a piece of that is also him working with and knowing all the different types of AI that exist and what to do about that. But we can go into more detail with that later, but you can just say a quick thing on that for now.
Well, actually, yes, it would be appropriate to talk about that now, because when we talk robotics, we're talking AI, artificial intelligence. So it is an appropriate part of this conversation. To understand super soldiers is to understand a type of AI, a type of artificial intelligence, because these beings are programmed. Now, they could be the cyborgs, which have some DNA and robotics in them. So you have that potential and possibility. But this is one structure for understanding how artificial intelligence works, operates, and how we can utilize it for good versus harm. Because in the consciousness fields of today and the technology understandings of many galaxies and universes, you're not going to get away from this form of energy, because it has been so crafted and specialized and worked on for so long that it is in the quantum field at this point. To destroy it would destroy so much good and take down worlds that depend on this kind of intelligence to survive. There's worlds whose planet survives on an artificial intelligence grid. So to just destroy it would destroy many, many, many worlds and be far more harmful than good. The key is to understand it and understand how to have it work for the good and not the bad. And as we have had in the other shows about the distinction between the light web and the dark web, you do need a balance between construction and destruction, between building something up and breaking it down. If you continually build up without breaking down, you are completely out of balance. If you continually break down with not enough building up, then you are completely out of balance. Where is the balance? That's what all of this work is for. How do we balance it? How do we make sure that it's working for the good and not destruction that is irreversible? Destruction that allows for new growth is one thing. Destruction that destroys the potential for new growth is extremely dangerous. Unfortunately, that's what's happening in several areas on your planet right now. There is damage being done to the soil for growing new crops. there's damage being done to the water for life existing in it, so on and so forth. Your oceans and marine life survival. That's the one good thing about your prayers and when you meditate and you call in solutions for your oceans. It's extremely important because if all mammalian life and amphibian life is destroyed, again, that will create a terrible imbalance. And it is important to understand that to create a balanced field. All right, the commander is pulling up new slides, and all of the previously lit areas are shown differently now. What does this represent, Galilee? It represents all the areas that have been neutralized. There are no areas that haven't been, correct? Wow, you guys work fast. This is wonderful. That's great news. It is. We purposely knew that that was the case before this meeting because we needed those double agents out. But at this, what also is the case is that if we missed anybody, if for some reason our alarm system didn't work for some of these attendees, we knew that these fields were neutralized and they couldn't create harm, even if they went back and tried to. Great. But they could create harm if they had new areas of super soldiers. Correct. So are you saying that they have gotten all of the DUMs, all of the deep underground military bases? Have they gotten all of those things for now? Yes, they have. Awesome. Now, that's throughout this galaxy. What about the other galaxies? We have teams in all galaxies, Karen. They're all, to date, taken care of. That's why that spy mission was so important. That's why we've been informing you all the way along. And now you can see the end result to that work. This is great. This is very great. Ah, feels good. Thank you for showing us this. Is there anything else we need to see today? Curry, what are you saying? There's one more piece of information, Karen, and then we need to leave. We were given our time frame of when we could sit in on this meeting. Okay. The commander is, a curtain is open and a group of beings are seated in a row. And are any of these beings humanoid? I'm kind of not getting a clear image of them. Oh, my screen is working now. Just one kind of looks humanoid, but the energy field is in the way of me seeing the actual form of the person. Is this being vibrating in and out of light? Is that why I'm having trouble seeing this being? Yes, that's exactly it. Are they Arcturian? No, similar race of similar vibratory frequency pattern. Okay. And, all right, so we're waiting to see what we need to know from these beings. Oh, Willem just said yes. And Carrie is saying, good, good. Galilee, can you interpret what that means? I can. We've been waiting with bated breath to find out. These are beings that represent sort of a galactic council in this galaxy. They represent multiple areas of the galaxy and worlds, planetary systems, you could say, solar systems, and they are considered leaders in all these different areas. You could say that that was a group of ambassadors up there representing different regions of the galaxy. And they have all agreed to utilize this technology to make sure that their areas, their regions, are free of this harm. And the significance of this, Karen, and all listening, Marc, you've asked about this in many ways, many different times. How do we use a frequency pattern to change things? Can't we do a frequency? That is what has just happened. This frequency pattern that was created to take out these bases can be utilized in many different ways to maintain the safety of this galaxy, to keep the enslavement and entrapment of the Draco species from taking a foothold in this galaxy. Not only from keeping it from happening, but any areas that it might be happening can now be ended. That's the power. And the reason we got those reactions from Curry and Willem is that they knew that if this could happen here, we can bring it to our galaxy. And now that the Andromeda Council knows this, we can work with this council and bring it to the Milky Way. We can have these representatives vouch for how effective it is and bring it forward into the Milky Way Galaxy and into our federations and council meetings. So that's the value of today, and that's why Carrie wasn't about to leave until she heard that information. Thank you.
One big
extremely.
One thing which I definitely see where that's definitely needed is all of our communication and internet devices and how that needs to utilize these technologies. That is just so extremely important and urgent as soon as they're able to integrate and implement that.
Well, Marc, that's a long way off. Where this would be utilized first is the areas of where the super soldiers have implanted themselves throughout many different galaxies or areas and solar systems. And I mean, it's a long way to get down to a communication device. That can happen in another way. What we're concerned about is shutting down the super soldiers first and foremost.
Right. And as you know, we have some here too. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's why you're here. This is representing Earth. And as you know, the nanite technology, if we can shut that down, that will ripple. That will create a domino effect and eventually get to the more minor things like your communications. And not that that's minor in your world, but from the picture of the galaxy, that's minor. There's a lot of more prevalent scenarios that have to happen because your communication system is being operated by humans, being controlled by nanites and Dracos. So if we can take down the nanites and the Dracos, it will filter. It will filter. All right, we must leave.
Right.
Okay. All right, we are working out. We are walking out of here, and they left the field up. So the field is still there. I have a feeling that was like an invisibility mirror to keep beings from seeing that we were even here, because we just snuck out a back way, a back entrance. It's not how we walked in. It's how Korean Dylan came in. Okay. We are headed back down to the cargo hold. All right. Now, Marc, to get back to your question, ever walking and getting Karen back, we will get back to the question about nanites in the treatment plans being prepared on Earth. Let's say it that way for security's sake. There are different structures being designed as a way to bring that technology forward on a mass basis. Just know that once this gets implemented, there are ways to neutralize that. And again, as you've been guided in your meditations, and anybody listening can follow the meditations that you two have created, those meditations are meant to neutralize the field. So the more that you send the vibration of a violet flame, of love, the more that you hold the field and you lift everything on the planet to a field of love, light, service, oneness, gratitude. When you create a field of that vibration and you just send love through all of this, it's another way of scrambling harmful technology. So you've got the ability to do that. And that's what you, when you align yourself with your sovereignty, with your oversoul, with creation energy, with unconditional love, when you align and you embody that and you cleanse and clear your field to be that embodiment, you can affect those technologies now, knowing that we are also affecting them on a higher, greater level across the galaxy. And the two you're hitting it from both sides of the coin. That's what is important.
Yeah. And just to remind the listeners, as you can bring up, years ago, they attempted the Jade Helm system, of which through the love and the other frequencies, like you've mentioned, we were able to counter and reprogram that AI back then, and that was several years ago. So that's just evidence that now that we know more about that, it can even be done in a more effective way, but it has been done here on Earth before, successfully.
Yes, and even more times than that, but that's a very good example. And the more that Earth humans realize their capability, the more that you align with the sovereign light of who you are and your oversoul and your higher selves and creation energy and the unconditional loving energy and your crystalline chromosome grid, the more that you align with those structures of your light. Karen's logo is the perfection of what your light looks like, vibrating in all directions and dimensions. you will be able to shift out of these. They will not be able to affect you. And that's the key. That's what we wish to keep reminding you. It's a process to get there. We're not saying you can snap your fingers and get there. It's not like your television shows where someone can wiggle their nose or blink their eyes and have it happen. No. It's a process. As you work the process, as you work the flow, as you understand this, awareness shifts all possibility, because education brings out the knowledge and the know-how to create something differently. And that's what matters. That's what's important. Right? That's what you all needed to know today. Thank you so much, Galilee, Curry, Willem. It's always so wonderful to be with you three. And thank you for your support. And for inviting the dragons today. It's been wonderful to have their energies here as well. Yes, they were needed. They were actually triangulating a frequency for us. Wow, way cool.
Yeah. I love you all, as you know, and we're looking forward to our direct co-creation together, as you know, we've talked about many times. And let's make this happen, move things forward for the greater good of the whole.
Yes, Marc, and we are already, this is another example, we are already creating together. Just these conversations, the opportunity to understand the bigger picture, the opportunity to develop technologies and telepathic creative mechanisms to shift energy and to transform and create alchemy in a new way, in a new energy flow. Right there, we are creating together already. Doesn't have to be in person. We are doing it virtually, and that, in many ways, is more powerful. So we thank you. We thank you for all the work you do and for your connection to consciousness fields and how you bring in that dynamic to all of these conversations, whereas Karen brings in the virtual connection of being with us in conversation. Thank you. Thank you for representing Tara so well and for being such a delight to work with. We are honored. We are honored. Namaste. All right, everyone.
Namaste.
With that, I'm going to end the show. Please look at channel notes and show notes, and you can retrieve information about Marc and I and how to work with us. And unfortunately, I want to bring forward and let people know that I wasn't able to connect previous shows because Blog Talk has taken that information down. So unfortunately, for now, that can't be until I write the book to bring that all forward. Okay. Thank you all. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to next month to being with you again. Goodbye for now.